assumed the form of a low-crowned hat, an ordinary-shaped nose, an ordinary chin, an ordinary neck, and ordinary shoulders. What he consisted of further down was invisible, from lack of sky low enough to picture him on. Shuffling, halting, irregular footsteps of various kinds were now heard coming up the hill, and presently there emerged from the shade severally 5 men of different ages and gaits, all of them working villagers of the parish of Mellstock. They, too, had lost their rotundity with the daylight, and advanced against the sky in flat outlines, which suggested some processional design on Greek or Etruscan pottery. They represented the chief portion of Mellstock parish choir. The first was a bowed and bent man, who carried a fiddle under his arm, and walked as if engaged in studying some subject connected with the surface of the road. He was Michael Mayle, the man who had hallooed to Dick. The next was Mr. Robert Penny, boot and shoemaker, a little man who, though rather round-shouldered, walked as if that fact had not come to his own knowledge, moving on with his back very hollow and his face fixed on the north-east quarter of the heavens before him, so that his lower waistcoat buttons came first, and then the remainder of his figure. His features were invisible, yet when he occasionally looked round, 2 faint moons of light gleamed for an instant from the precincts of his eyes, denoting that he wore spectacles of a circular form. The third was Elias Spinks, who walked perpendicularly and dramatically. The fourth outline was Joseph Bowman's, who had now no distinctive appearance beyond that of a human being. Finally came a weak, lath-like form, trotting and stumbling along, with one shoulder forward and his head inclined to the left, his arms dangling nervelessly in the wind as if they were empty sleeves. This was Thomas Leaf. "Where be the boys?" said Dick, to this somewhat indifferently matched assembly. The eldest of the group, Michael Mayle, cleared his throat from a great depth. We told them to keep back at home for a time, thinking they wouldn't be wanted yet a while, and we could choose the tunes, and so on. Father and Grandfather William have expected ye a little sooner. I just been for a run round by Yule's stile and Hollow Hill to warm my feet." "To be sure Father did. To be sure did expect us. To taste the little barrel beyond compare that he's going to tap, huh?" "Oh, odd rabbit it all. Never heard a word of it," said Mr. Penny, gleams of delight appearing upon his spectacle glasses. Dick, meanwhile, singing parenthetically, "Lads and lasses, a sheep shearing go." "Neighbours, there's time enough to drink a cider drink now before bedtime, eh?" said Mayle. "Oh, true, true. Time enough to get us drunk as lords," replied Bowman cheerfully. This opinion being taken as convincing, they all advanced between the varying hedges and the trees dotting them here and there, kicking their toes occasionally among the crumpled leaves. Soon appeared glimmering indications of the few cottages surrounding the small hamlet of Upper Mellstock, for which they were bound, whilst the faint sound of church bells ringing a Christmas peal could be heard floating over upon the breeze from the direction of Longpuddle and Weatherbury parishes on the other side of the hills. A little wicket admitted them to the garden, and they proceeded up the path to Dick's house. It was a long, low cottage, with a hipped roof of thatch, having dormer windows breaking up into the eaves, a chimney standing in the middle of the ridge, and another at each end. The window shutters were not yet closed, and the fire and candle-light within radiated forth upon the thick bushes of box and laurestinus growing in clumps outside, and upon the bare boughs of several codlin trees hanging about in various distorted shapes. the result of early training as espalier.